So let's just immediately kick in to a child's pose. Knees can be wide, or your knees can be together. And let's just settle in and start to connect with our breath, letting go of what's around you in the house and maybe just the excitement of doing different classes in a different way. And start to connect internally with your breath. Getting to feel the magic of yoga. Feel how the breath, the belly and the chest rising against your thighs. Just check in with yourself, how you're feeling. Don't judge those thoughts. Just acknowledge them. Then slowly your hands can come forward and you can walk your hands over to the right side of your body, feeling a nice stretch in the left side. Keep the sitting bones drawing back towards the heels. And then slowly walk the hands over to the front of your mat and over to the left side. Feeling that stretch into the right side of the body. Slowly coming back to center, coming up onto your hands and knees. And take some time now just to move into some cat and cows in your breath, in your time. Doesn't matter whether your inhales that you're cowing or your inhales you're catting. Move and try and connect and feel each vertebra in the body. You can change hand positions while you do this. Try and connect it with your inhale and your exhale. And once you've done a few cat and cows, you can maybe do some shoulder rolls. It is early in the morning, so you can also cat and cow whilst you shoulder roll, but go gently. Don't make those big movements. Make them slow and make them about what you're feeling in the body. And change the direction, warming up the shoulders, warming up the wrists, warming up the hips. Take whatever movement you feel is necessary. And then settle in your tabletop and raise your right knee to the sky. Then feel the opening of the hip as you open the hip and look over the left shoulder and draw that foot towards the left elbow. Then slowly feeling the movement in the hip, drawing, compressing the right side, drawing the knee towards the elbow and slowly down. Swapping it, left knee goes high. Take the knee high first, then open slowly the hip, feel it. Look over the right shoulder and draw the foot towards the right shoulder, right elbow. Inhale, draw the knee towards the left elbow, compress the left side, draw it down. One more, right knee goes high, open the hip, draw the foot towards the elbow, and draw the knee to the right elbow. Drop it down. Left knee goes up, open the hip, look over the right shoulder, and draw it towards the left shoulder, left elbow, and lower it down. Hopefully by now you're ready for your first downward dog of the day. Tuck your toes, raise your knees, and find a downward dog. You can walk into your legs slowly, But don't make it about just into walking into the legs, because I've said you can. Make it about how it feels in the ankle, in the knee, in the hip. And if you want to, as you straighten the leg, you can open the hip a little bit more and stretch into the hip and stretch into the other hip. And when you feel you've moved enough, settle for your downward dog. Gaze between your knees. Then come high on your tippy toes. Bend your knees and draw your chest towards your thighs. Then slowly leading with your chin, look up towards your hands. Then draw the chin in. Let the chin lead the movement of the neck. All the way up, looking up the belly button. Long back of the neck. Inhale, draw it forward. And then slowly walk forward to the front of your mat, taking your time, bending your knees as much as you need to, really taking your time in this movement, walking forward all the way to the front of your mat. And then forward fold. Release the hands, or if you choose and you want some more movement, hands can interlace, or you can just move from side to side, just dangling. And then when you've taken that movement, settle down, forward fold. And release your neck. It's important we don't hold on to tension in the neck. And then slowly roll up, vertebra by vertebra. Unless you've got back issues, then come up with a flat back. Otherwise, try and feel each vertebra, shift the hip bones forward, weight a little bit on the balls, so the movement happens within the spine, not in the hips. The head is the last to come up. Shoulders roll, Tadasana, mountain pose. For my classes, if you can have feet hip distance apart, just helps with balance. Tadasana is such a beautiful pose to start to practice, grounding us. Maybe you'd like to close your eyes and picture that mountain, any mountain that you can visualize. Maybe that can translate into your mountain, solid, big, strong, and immovable. And then slowly, if your eyes are closed, open them. And there's always the option of keeping your heels on the ground in this opening sequence or not. But back of the palms come together, rise up onto your toes. Inhale, long spine. Draw the hip bones back to the back of your mat, lengthening the lower spine. Fingers can move, your neck can move. Balance is there. Then slowly lower your heels down to the ground. Hands come down in front of your heart center. Shift your weight onto your heels, raise your toes. Then shift your weight onto the balls of your feet, grip with your toes. With the weight on the balls of the feet, feel the calves start to activate. Press the heels in and down towards one another, but they're not actually moving for the inner thighs to activate. Draw your knees and your ankle bones out to the sides of your mat. Maybe your glutes start to activate. Draw your kneecaps up for your quads to switch on. Bend and straighten your knees at the same time for your hamstrings to switch on. If you don't get the hamstrings on, then think of pulling the foot to the back of the mat and your hamstrings should definitely switch on. Well, I hope at least. Soft, gentle breath into the belly. Don't be forcing the belly button back to the spine. Just natural, calm breathing into the abdomen. Shoulders are forward, pushing through the heart center. With the shoulders forward, the pecs switch on. Armpits push down for lats. Bulge the bicep and try and extend the elbow at the same time for the tricep to switch on. Your fingers push towards one another. but you're trying to pull them apart at the same time for inner and outer forearm activation, inner and outer hand activation. Maybe start to notice your legs might be shaking. Feel the energy, feel the heat, and think of a scale of 0 to 10. Think of what level you're on and lower it down to a 4. See if you feel the shift, the change in your body. Then take it up to a 6. And then take it to the level you're going to activate in your poses as you go through the class. Back of the palms come together, rise up, traction the spine. Inhale, inner thighs are still switched on, calves are still on. Exhale, elbows come in, rounding the spine, making a C shape. Arms go out to the side of the body. Large intestine meridian with the hands if you choose. Sitting bones are tucking. Go as low as what's safe for your knees. Inhale, draw it up. Traction the spine. Exhale, second one. Elbows come in. Let the elbows help you round that spine. And arms go out to the side. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, plant the heels. Elbows go wide. Tuck the sitting bones under towards the front of the mat, lengthening the lower spine. Lift the belly from the pelvis. Lift the heart from the belly button. Slowly, hands come forward. Make a fist with the hands, then draw the fists towards one another, not touching the back of your body. Inhale, draw it up. Hands face one another. Elbows are still pulling wide, and then take pericardium meridian if you choose, and drop the elbows towards the side of your body. Sitting bones still tucking forward, protecting the lower spine. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, right hand dives over left. Drop your head. You're still activating in your legs to the level you choose. Draw the shoulders out of your ears and rounding the upper spine. Look up, compress the heart, squeeze it in. Then take it open, shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, lengthening the heart away from the belly button. Then fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, shoulders, roll it in, hands go back, interlace the hands, squeeze with the pinkies, draw the collarbones back, rise up onto the toes. Slowly lowering down, going as low as what is good for your body and your knees. It's not about the shape, it's the feeling. Inner thighs still squeezing toward one another. Slowly rise up, pause. Rise up, pause. Rise up, pause. Release. Back of the palms come together. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, second one. Palms come down. Make a fist. Draw fists towards one another. Bring it out. Rise it up. Palms face one another. Draw the elbows into where you can go at your body. Inhale. Left hand dives over right. Drop the chin. Weight still on the balls of the feet. Look up. Compress the chest. Take it open. Roll it. Feel the articulation. Keep the lower spine long. Then rotate it in. Hands go back. Keep them as high as possible for as long. Only bend the elbows when you need to. Swap the finger on top. Rise up onto the toes. Slowly come down. Slowly rise up. Release the hands and lengthen the spine. Drop your left heel. Turn your right leg out. Keep the fingertips touching and start to side bend. The right sitting bones drawing under. The fingertips together are helping us keep the length on this right side of the body. Then drop the right arm. Play with this left shoulder. Feel what happens in the spine if you bring it forward towards in front of your face. And think of drawing the belly button up towards the hand. The right foot is pulling towards the left. Inhale, right shoulder comes forward, traction the spine. Exhale, other side. Remember, it's the leg that's turning, not the hip that's turning. So really focus on turning the leg out, then side bend. The standing leg, the right leg is micro bent. Inhale, draw it up. Traction the spine. Exhale, hands come down to your heart meridian. Step back with your left leg. My back's going to turn to you a little bit in this. Bend your knees, push through the heart center. Sitting bones are tucking under. Your front foot pushes away and your back foot pushes back. Then twist over the front leg, belly button, lower ribs, chest. Extend your arms if you choose and raise the left ear from the left shoulder. Slowly rise into the legs. Stand up, tractioning the spine, then slowly lowering down. Balance will be challenged here. Look back at the right hand. Allow the left hip to come forward and twist a little bit more. Slowly look forward. Right arm comes under left. Elbows crossed if they can. Squeeze the shoulder blades apart away from one another. Then step forward. Traction the spine. Up on your toes if you can, or flat heels. Yogi's choice. Heart meridian. Right foot steps back. Set up the feet, push away. Belly button. Lower ribs, chest. Right hip will want to come forward. Draw it back. Put that intention. Right ear from right shoulder. Then slowly rise into the legs. Slowly dropping down. Now that right hip can go. As you look back, twist a little bit more. Then look forward. Left arm comes under. Elbows cross. Inhale. Traction it up. Exhale. Hands through your heart center. Slowly forward fold. Release your neck. Take a moment. Slowly rolling up, vertebra by vertebra. Take your time. Head and shoulders come up last. Moving into our one-legged standing vinyasa. If balance is challenged too much, then just place the foot on the ground if your balance is challenged too much at any time in this section. Hands come to your heart meridian. Step your right foot forward. Tuck the sitting bone. Set it up. Watch for that left hip jutting out to the side. Try and keep your hips square. You can activate in the calf, activate in the hamstring. Then on the inhale, draw the knee up. Raise it up high. Exhale, extend the foot and open the palms out towards the side of the body. Lung meridian. For those who follow meridians, inhale, draw it back in, draw it high, hold below the knee, draw it up. Before you let it go, can you lengthen in your spine anymore? Don't lengthen the standing leg, keep a micro bend, just focus on lengthening the spine. Then muscular strength, let it go. Hold it there. Slowly lower it down, half squat. Shift your weight to your right foot. Step the left foot a little bit forward, tuck the sitting bone. Pull back with the big toe, prepare it. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, extend it. Really think of rolling that thigh out, that the toes are pointing to the side. And engage the right glute. Slowly bring it back in. Hold below the knee. Draw the knee up. Traction the spine a little if you can. Release it. Hold it there. Exhale, slowly lower it down. Slowly come up. Turn your right leg out. Hands on heart meridian. Inhale, draw it up. Hips are staying square to the front. Thumb and index finger roll forward, duck beak in the hands for large intestine. The toes are ideally ultimately pointing back to the back of the room. Inhale, bring it back in. Square the hips. Half squat. Inhale, open the left leg. Hips are trying to stay square. Draw it up and extend. Watch for this sitting into the side. So really engage the glute. Inhale, draw it back in. Set it down. Right heel squeezes to your buttocks. Get that hamstring on before you move. Once the hamstring's on, start to hinge at the hips. Arms start to go back. Pericardium with the hands. And then slowly, when the knee's high, extend the foot. Shoulders higher than hips. Rolling the right inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Bend the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Then release this back bend. Sitting bones come forward, rounding the spine. Hold below the knee. Traction. Slowly lower it down. Inhale, left heel to buttocks, squeeze it. Then start to take the knee high. Then slowly extend the foot. It's a back bend, standing leg is micro bent. Sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Then release the back bend. Draw it in. Pull it in. Traction the spine. Slowly put it down. Shift your weight to your left foot. First level, left hand to knee, right hand to sacrum. And twist, belly button, lower ribs, chest. If you're going further, arms extend, leg extends. If you want more, you'll draw the leg across for the inner thigh to work a little bit more. Slowly bring it back. Place it down. Inhale, draw it up. Take whichever level of the pose you're taking and twist and move with awareness and consciousness. Your belly button, your lower ribs, your chest. Extend if you're extending. Slowly bring it back. Place it down. Forward fold. Calm. Nostril breathing. Inhale, exhales to the belly button. Extend your arms to the back of the room, elbows by your knees. Feet are hip distance apart. Using muscular strength, can you draw yourself deeper into a forward fold? Then slowly bring your hands to your calves. Press your hands, your palms of your hands into your calves. Press your calves into your hands. Engage your biceps. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Slowly, with each inhale and exhale, maybe finding a millimeter of length. Inhale, hands plant next to the feet. Allow the fingers to push forward to the front of your mat, to pull you forward and deeper into the forward fold. Really tensioning the whole spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, place your hands on the ground. Try and keep that long, flat spine. Shift your weight to your right foot. Raise your left heel to your buttocks. Squeeze it in. Draw the knee high. Keep drawing the knee as high as you can. Hold it. Slowly now release the heel from the buttocks. Extend it. Slow and controlled. Energy through the ball of the foot, through the heel of the foot. Can you raise that leg higher? Right leg is micro bending. Then slowly, with control, lower the foot down to the ground. Hands come back to frame the front foot. Bend the back knee, fingers push forward, bring the head into the knee and round the spine. Watch for left hip dropping down, draw the hips square. Front foot pushes forward, back foot pushes back. Pull with your fingers, straighten the back leg. Long spine. Then slowly turning on your feet to the side of your mat. Have a look if you need to. Come up onto the balls of your toes. Goddess pose, flat back. Keep dropping the hips lower if you can. If you want to, you can take the arms off the ground, but keep that back flat. But it's absolutely fine if you've got the support of the arms on the ground. Really up high on the toes. Drawing the knees back to the back of that. Wherever the back of your room is, draw the knees back away from where your hands are. Then slowly release the heels. Walk to the front, set up for a crescent lunge. Round into the spine. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. The back of the hands come together. Rise up, crescent lunge. We've just rounded into this. Now draw that spine long. Push down with your front foot and push forward. Push down with your back foot and push back. Then change gears. Front foot pushes down and pulls back. Back foot pushes down and pulls forward. Elbows squeeze towards one another. Shoulder blades drawing away from one another. You're not just touching, you're squeezing. But work at your level that you choose. Slowly release it. Feel the release. Preparing for your warrior three. Shifting your weight. Back toe can stay on the ground. Go slowly. Where we're not using momentum. Just take that warrior three. Standing leg is micro bent. Slowly with control, release that foot down. Back of the palms come together. Rise up. Belly button from pubic bone. Heart from belly button. Sitting bones still tucking under, keeping the lower spine safe. Shoulders roll forward. Now rounding the spine. Hands plant. Push into the hands, and that right leg floats back. Use your knees if you need to. Slowly lower down, pausing. Shoulders in line with elbows. Hold it for a breath or two, then lower it all the way down. Hands come under your shoulders. Prepare the lower body first. 10 toes push in, knees raise. Pubic bone pushing down, then raise the head, raise the shoulders, raise the hands. Hands can come forward, float them, place them down. Push into the hands. Now pull back and draw the elbows towards one another. Now that height that you've used your arms and your hands to get you, can you keep it? By raising your hands, check in with yourself. What's doing the work? If you have to raise the arms, how high are you? Hands come back. Tuck the toes, using the knees if you need to, either kneeling plank or full plank. Chin needs away, hips go high, downward dog. Gripping with the fingers, activating into the forearms. Energy shifting down the sitting bones towards the heels. Shrug the shoulders into your ears, then release that shrug. Shrug shoulders into ears, release. Shrug, release. Then looking forward, walking slowly to the front of your mat. Taking your time to get there. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Long spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Keep that spine long. Shift your weight into your left leg. Right heel squeezes into your buttocks. The knee goes high. Once the knee's high, then start to extend the leg. Slowly with control. We live in such a fast-paced world. We want to do everything so quickly. Take your time and feel what's happening. Slowly, with control, bending, lowering the foot. Hands frame the front foot. Head to knee, Sankalanasana. Fingertips are pushing forward. Change it. Pull with the fingers, extend into the back leg. Then slowly bend the knee and coming up into a crescent lunge. Hands come down to a heart meridian. The side we might work a little bit longer in the legs, so if you feel it, rise up a little bit. But inhale, take a side bend over to the side. And inhale, draw it up long, and then side bend it to the other side. And inhale, draw it up. Exhale, heart meridian, and twist. Belly button, chest, ribs. Take it back. Now take it to the other side. Feel the difference with the opening. Extend the arms if you choose. Slowly bring it back to center. Traction the arms up. Then exhale. Place the hands down. Shift. Don't go back. Just come to a downward dog briefly. Then your right leg steps forward. And we're going to balance up. Back of the palms come together. Crescent lunge. Your right hand goes over to the side and your side bend. Inhale, draw it up. And exhale, side bend towards the left. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, heart meridian. And twist over the front leg. Extend the arms if you choose. Now bring it back to heart meridian. And then open it the other way. Come back to center. Lift up. Raise up through the spine. Then slowly hands come down. Swap your feet. First a downward dog briefly. Left foot comes forward. And when you're ready, make sure your foundation is solid. Crescent lunge, back of the palms together. Legs have worked a lot. So you want less, raise the legs. You want more, drop lower. Elbows squeeze. Feet are pushing away from one another. Then release that. Come forward, shift the weight, keep the standing leg bent, and raise up to your warrior three. You can take the pericardium with the wrists if you choose. Shoulders higher than hips. Then slowly lower it down. Back of the palms come together. Rise up. Really lift that spine. Keep the lower spine safe though, but lift up through the heart, the chest, the back bends in the upper thoracic. Shoulders roll forward. Hands place. Shift the left foot back. Use your knees if you need to. And lower down all the way to the ground. Bring your elbows forward. Bend your wrists, making fists with your hands. Press into the 10 toes, knees are raised, pubic bone tucking down. Hips are drawing towards elbows, elbows are drawing towards hips. You're trying to pull your heart through your hands. Closing your eyes. Connect with your breath. Slowly open your eyes. Hands plant. Pull yourself forward. Traction the spine. Take a moment again. Feel the belly against the ground. Resisting. Then when you're ready, tuck your toes, raise your knees, or keep your knees down if you're going to kneeling plank. Raise up, plank. The chin leads the way, rounding the spine, then the hips go up, downward dog. Slowly your right leg goes high. Try and keep the hips square. Then when we started class, we opened the hips. Feel that opening of the hips. Then can you draw the foot higher towards the ceiling? Then come up onto the toe of the left foot. Draw the chest more to the left thigh. You're either going to bend the knee and slowly make your way into your wild thing, or you're going to lower that foot back down, close the hip, and turn onto your buttocks. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart and quite close to one another, and find your way up into almost like a three-legged wheel or a wild thing, not your traditional wild thing with the left leg extended straight. If you want more, the left elbow micro bends, so we can use muscular strength, not joint strength. The hips are pushing high. Then the eyes lead the way out of it. Swivel on the feet. The left foot solid. The right leg comes up. The right hand plants. Turn and make your way back to a three-legged dog. Then inhale, draw the knee to the chest. Connect it, then shift the shoulders over the hands. Foot plants between the hands. Back foot turns out at a 45-degree warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. Back of the palms come together. Rise up. The feet push down and push away. And I'd actually encourage you to come forward and long on this with the spine. So traditionally we sit up here and we look up and we compress into the lower spine. If you're feeling anything in the lower spine, come forward a little bit and have a forward warrior one. There's no right or wrong. It's how it feels in your body. Slowly walk the back foot out, warrior two. Traditional heel arch alignment. Find what suits your body. Drawing the inner thighs apart from one another. Looking over the front palm. Calm, inhale, calm, exhale. Slowly extending into the front foot. Take your time getting into it. Keep a micro bend. Then start to shift. Come long, Trikonasana. Hand can come to your shin, or hand can come all the way down. If it's getting to your shin, push into your shin to lengthen the right side of the body here. If it's down, become aware of the compression that happens on the right side. Can you lengthen it and draw it long? If your neck's okay, you're looking up. If not, you're looking down. Right palm faces the ceiling, solid in the legs. Reverse Trikonasana. Find length first. Make a long spine first before you go back. Then slowly bend into the front knee, right hand to right collarbone. I'm just shifting my front foot back because of space in the video. And you're going to start to shift the back foot forward for an unsupported half moon. Nilamba Ardha Chandrasana. But you're drawing the left shoulder to the left hip. So not your traditional. Really compressing the left side of the body. Standing leg is micro bend. Slowly take it down. Left arm comes over. Take a child's pose here. Everybody, take a moment. Check in with your breath. Hopefully you're all doing okay. And then when you are ready, you'll come out of your child's pose and you'll make your way to downward dog. Left leg goes high. Keep the hips square to start. Then slowly open the hip. Feel the opening. Then can you draw the foot higher towards the ceiling? Come up onto the ball of the right foot. Draw the chest closer. Bend the knee. You're either taking the beginner version or this version where you're just dropping over. And don't take legs long. Keep legs pretty close. So knees are over ankles. Both feet are fairly close together, giving you a solid foundation. Allow that left arm to draw long overhead, drawing you back. Hips are going high. Slowly the eyes lead the way. Feel the rib cage start to make the turn as the feet. Don't just go. Feel what happens all the time as the weight shifts and hands and feet move. Three-legged dog. Bring the knee into the chest. Maybe you can kiss the knee. Draw the heel high. Shift the weight, shoulders over hands. Plant the foot. Back foot at 45 degrees. Back of the palms together, round up. Warrior one. Armpits forward. It's going to keep tension out of the neck. Check in with your lower spine. Are you arching? If you're arching, draw the hip bones back. Warrior two. Move that back foot out and draw your shoulders somewhere in line over your hips, your front knee over the big toe and the first toe. Inner thighs are drawing apart from one another. And you're looking, your drishti is over the front hand. Slowly take your time straightening into the front leg, like moving through mud. Then come forward, Trikonasana, keeping a micro bend in the front leg. Hand comes to shin, or to the floor, whichever your choice. Right shoulder retracting, left shoulder protracting. Again, check in with the lower spine. Draw the hip bones back if you're feeling compression there. Then right, left palm faces, draw it up, reverse Trikonasana. Find that length first. Really make it about length in the spine before you go back. Then take it back. Then unsupported half moon, set up. Walk that back foot in. Your hips are still staying open. My back's to you. And shift the weight till you're at a point. Hips are open. You can just float that leg up. But it's also okay for that back foot to stay on the ground. And you can draw the right shoulder to the right hip. You're still in the pose even if you're in this version. If you choose, you'll float the leg. Whatever version you're at, it's all okay. Slowly lower it down. Right arm comes over. Place your hands and slowly moving through a vinyasa of your choice. Use your knees if you need to. Lower down. Upward dog or cobra. Yogi's choice. Press the toes down. Inhale. Out. Slowly lower down. Out. Sorry. Tuck your toes. Plank. Sometimes dogs don't listen. Sometimes they do. With that, we find our downward dog. Slowly walking forward to the front of your mat and forward fold. Inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Squeeze your heels in and squeeze your heels apart. Check in with your tailbone, tuck it and untuck it. Feel what works for your body. Then your right leg steps behind and goes behind. Drop low and squeeze the inner thighs. Then twist, belly button, lower ribs, chest. Then make a connection elbow to knee. You should be able to move between the feet. Shift the spine long, keep length in the spine. Draw the right hip bone towards, away from the right foot. Probably a better instruction. Then slowly release it. Right arm leads the way. I've mirrored you. Revolved hand to foot. If you can't get to the foot, the hand comes to the knee. Don't pull it across because that'll challenge your balance, but connect it, then start to twist. If you go in for the full version, bend the standing leg a lot. Bend the knee, then extend into the leg, then slowly traction and lengthen into the pose. If your balance is okay, you'll look back. Slowly releasing the foot onto the top of the right knee for a figure four. Galavasana preparation. You might hold it here. Otherwise, you might sink a little bit lower and come forward. Choose where you're staying in the pose. You might be coming forward and staying here. You might want to take the arm balance and go for a Galavasana and raise the foot. If that's too much for you, then slowly come out of it and take a crow. So for those who know Galavasana, keep going in that. Hopefully you know what you're doing and hopefully you're there. Otherwise, I'm going to talk those through a crow. So think of a triangle. The hands form the base of the triangle and your head is the balance point at the top of the triangle. Place your hands, draw your knees as high as you can ideally into your armpits, but wherever you can get them on the back of the arms. Then shift the weight. And you might be in the pose, and that's where you are. That's okay. You might feel you want to raise one foot, then swap it. And then you might have the balance that you can raise both feet. 3 breaths in your crow. Slowly, feet lower, find a squat. Yogi's choice. You can dump into the joints, or you can be up. Turn the back of the palms towards one another, left hand over right, and slowly bend the wrists in. Don't have to straighten the arms, we're just releasing the wrists. Take it out, swap it, right over left. Take it back, shake it, up and down. Walk your feet in if you can. Chair. If you squeeze your heels in on the last chair, then squeeze them apart. Then your left leg steps behind. Squeeze, drop low, belly button, lower ribs, chest. Then try and make a connection. Then focus length on the spine. Can you draw the heart away from the belly button? Left arm leads the way, all the way back. Take whichever version you're doing, whether it's hand to knee or hand to foot. Be aware of the conscious choice you made. Slowly coming forward, bending the knee for figure four, placing it above the knee. If you hear it's absolutely perfect, you could drop the knee a little bit. You might come lower for Galavasana. If you're going for Galavasana, you'll go and you'll take Galavasana. If not, you'll come up, draw the knee high, come down to squat, and take a second crow. So in your time, take a crow. If you come out of it, Go back into it. Last few moments if you're still in it. And then come out of it. And let's just release the wrists. So if that squat is too much on the lower back, you can do it from up here, or you can do it down in your squat. You can also do your squat if you want in a typical malasana if you've got that, if you're okay, but find what works for your body. You're developing your practice, back of the palms, right over left. Other way. Shake it out. Take whatever movement, maybe forward fold and gently stand, bend on your knees so you don't fall over. Push the toes into the back of the wrists. And then slowly roll up, vertebra by vertebra. Ideally, I would do some handstand play here. So what I think we should do, I'm going to offer some variants. So you can lie down on your back if you don't really have, or you're scared of hopping up in a handstand. I'm going to show a few versions here. So really focus on, think of squashing a strawberry down onto the mat with the lower spine. You can raise the shoulders and you can raise the legs, keep that lower spine down on the ground. And then slowly start to lower the legs until you feel the core muscles start to activate and engage. That might be enough. If you're okay there, you would go lower until that lower spine starts to raise. Then you need to take it up. And if you want more of a challenge, the arms can go up to the ears. Just working some handstands. Now, others of you who want to do a hop, you can set up, take your downward dog, take a full step in, so you're a half downward dog. You can raise one leg high and just do little hops, just trying to push weight into your hands. Or you can do two together, come up on the toes and just do some bunny hops. So bunny hops, or kicking one leg up and just getting a little bit of float. So of course, in my mind's eye, I'm going to picture all of you doing either of the three poses, and hopefully we can time it. Hopefully we don't cut you too short in the play. About a minute more just of trying that, feeling that. And then when you've done that, come out and just again release your wrists in either of the ways I've shown you already, standing on your hands or turning the back of the palms. Just make sure your wrists are okay, giving them some love. And then place your hands behind you and find seated pose. Dandasana. Try and lift, and that's where that book may help. If you've got it, if you want to raise, these are slightly different heights, but anyway, if you want to raise the hips, try and make sure you've got books of same height, because otherwise it won't really work. If you need to raise, just to lengthen the lower spine, you can also bend your knees. Your heels can push down into the floor. Let's not get passive. Let's stay active. So heels push down and pull towards the sitting bones. Sitting bones push down and pull towards the heels. But obviously make sure if you are on a block or a prop that it's wide enough to support both sitting bones. Then your arms go long
and start to come forward for your forward fold. Keep the spine as long as possible, straight as possible for as long as possible, should I say. It's not about reaching your feet. When you've really kept the spine long, you can give into that habit and then round and release forward. Now don't just hang out there. Every inhale to prepare, exhale, maybe there's a millimeter of more length you find in the forward fold. Inhale to prepare, exhale is the even just intention of lengthening a little bit more. Calm inhale, calm exhale. Slowly rise up. Place your feet, reverse tabletop or Purvottanasana. So you can either do the traditional pose with your legs out straight, or you can bend your knees. Your hands can be traditional, pointing back to your buttocks or to the sides or back. Check in with your shoulders about what's good for your shoulders. But when you're ready, push down on your feet. Heels are pulling towards your buttocks as you raise the hip bones up. Don't drop the head back. Keep looking forward. When you've really pushed through and raised the hips, if you want to take the head, then lead it with the chin. Draw the chin up to the corners of the room. So keep the back of the neck long. Although it's extending, it's staying long. Slowly lower the hips down between the hands. Don't drop them all the way to the floor. Hover. And inhale. Draw it back up for one more time. Just briefly. Then slowly lower down. Then draw your knees in, hug your knees in, close. Can you squeeze them? Then can you release and keep the knees close and release the arms? Heels are hovering. Neck is free. Then can you place the hands? Drop your heels and raise the buttocks. Can you raise the buttocks and raise one foot? Can you raise the buttocks and raise another foot? Maybe you can cross the ankles and raise both. Drop the ankles and release. Slowly lowering down onto your back. Again, don't just drop down on your back. Really take your time. Move with the awareness and the consciousness we've been building through the whole practice. Push your feet down on the floor. Let them act as your brakes. You can use your hands beneath your knees and slowly feel each vertebra as you roll down. Slowly all the way down onto the ground. Draw your knees into your chest. Hug them. Rock from side to side. Releasing the lower back a little bit. And then we're going to release it a little bit more. Find stillness in the center. Keep hugging the knees, one hand to each knee. And draw your head and your shoulders up. Keep holding. If that's where you are, that's where you stay. If this is not feeling much in your body, then slowly draw your toes down to the ground. Your arms will start to straighten and act as a lever and pull you a little bit higher. If your toes touch the ground, pull the toes towards the buttocks. Really starting to work the abdominal area. If that's still pretty easy for you, then you might extend both arms out to the side. So choose whichever version you're moving at or staying at, and then slowly extend your right leg if that's okay for you. The left toes are still pulling back. By now you should hopefully be feeling something. Slowly draw it back in, the right foot. Pull yourself in a little bit more forward and up with your hands just to release a little bit. Then pull with the right toes, release the left leg. Calm breathing. Slowly bring it back in. Roll the shoulders down. Roll the head down. Make sure there's no tension in the neck. And immediately bring the feet up into the air. Your arms are from the inside of your legs to hold the outside of your feet for happy baby. Drawing the knees down towards the armpits. And it's okay if the tailbone lifts, allow it, and then slowly start to draw it back down towards the ground. Then slowly release the right leg, keep pulling the left, and allow the right leg to slowly come down to the floor. Or you stay in happy baby, it's yogi's choice. If you're okay, and that leg can be bent or straight, so first take the foot down, then if you're okay with that, then you can extend it. The right hand can help push it down, pushing the right hip down towards the ground. Then slowly, the left knee is not going out wide to the side. It's coming just over past the left shoulder. Start to extend where you can into the leg. May not feel like much, that there's much of an extension, but go into the release of the back of that leg. And then slowly bend it in. Draw the right foot into happy baby. Pull the knee in. Slowly release the left foot down towards the ground. And extend it. Use the hand on top of the thigh. And keep drawing the knee down initially into the armpit. And after a few breaths, then slowly extend, lengthen to the right leg. Go gently with your body. Don't take that leg too wide. And slowly release. One more last happy baby. Both feet, hug it in. And then release it. And shoulder stand. If you've got shoulder stand, go there. But I'm going to encourage you to try and not use momentum. Use your muscular strength in going up. So draw your knees in. Please don't be looking sideways at me and going into shoulder stand. So if you want to listen to the instructions first and then go, rather watch and then do shoulder stand. So draw the knees in and start to raise the hip bones off the ground. You're pushing hard into the hands. Your triceps are working. You're raising up till you can get to a point where literally your hands can get under your buttocks. And you might be there, and that's absolutely totally acceptable for a half shoulder stand. If you're going all the way, then slowly you go all the way up to your shoulder stand. Big toes touch. We don't want too much tension in the legs. We're just trying to drain some blood and shift some energy here. Notice if you feel the need to fidget already and play with leg positions. Check in with yourself on that. Slowly keep your left leg up high. Start to drop your right leg down to the ground for a half plow. Doesn't matter if the foot doesn't touch the ground. Then swap it. Right leg comes up high and slowly lower your left leg down. And then maybe both feet will come down for halasana or plow. Your hands can interlace. Maybe your knees will drop towards your ears. Then slowly, when you're ready, straighten into your legs. Keep your thighs as close to your abdomen as possible and slowly roll out vertebra by vertebra. Really take your time trying to articulate into each vertebra as we roll out all the way. And either you're going to plant your feet and drop your knees over to one side and roll up, or you'll take some rocks. So take your choice. You're going to rock up until you meet seated, or you're going to roll over to one side and find Sukhasana, easy seating pose. And let's just finish our practice with some nerve tensioning. So bring your hands to heart meridian, thumb and index finger, hands roll in, shoulders are forward and arms are to the side. Large intestine. Shoulders stay forward, lung meridian. Fingers to point towards the ceiling, pericardium. Small intestine. You're trying to get the fingers underneath, but watch for shoulders rising up. Then heart meridian again. And then shake it out. And briefly twist over to your right. Left hand on the knee. I'm not mirroring you on this side. And take a twist. And slowly take it to the other side. And then slowly now roll down for your Shavasana. Taking your time in your Shavasana. Minute or so, minute and a half of just Shavasana. Your heels drop in, your toes drop out. Take a breath into your belly. Pause it at your head and let it go. And take a breath into your chest area, not as deeply. Pause it and let it go. Take a breath into your head, not as deeply. Pause it and let it go. You're in the comfort and the safety of your own homes, so take as much time as you need in your Shavasana. There's no time limit to how long you need to stay. Give gratitude to your body for what it's been able to do to get onto your mat, to your sanctuary. And I wish you all a wonderful weekend and a safe lockdown. Namaste.
Namaste.